What's the most awkward moment you've had on holiday? Oh, right. Me and my brother went to Thailand and his appendix burst and we got it fixed and we were he was in a wheelchair 3 days later and we were in a lift and my brother, who is an arsehole, thought it would be funny to pretend to be heavily disabled. Yeah, I've never been angry with a little shit in my life. He was dribbling, he was shaking. People were looking at us and he was like, you're right. And I had to play along. It's like, yeah, he's having a bad day. I was so angry. We got out of the elevator and I punched him in the face. But there were people outside the lift and they hadn't seen what my little brother had done. All they'd seen is a bloke they recognise off British TV run up to a bloke in a wheelchair, punch him in the face and scream out loud, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" That was fairly awkward.
When I was about 10, I was in a wheelchair for about 6 months, got some surgery on my legs, and I quite enjoyed being in a wheelchair. It was sort of good crack. But my parents, assuming that I was hating it, it's like a nice, fun thing, organised me to go on a holiday camp designed for disabled people. But it was called Camp Courage. And it was fucking shit. I remember on the last night, we'd sort of sat around a campfire and this guy stood up and he said, you know what I think is the bravest thing that you can do? It is to be the person that you are. And I don't know if that's true. So sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to be the person that you are. But sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is to tell your camp organiser to fuck off. Even if it does mean that you have to spend 20 minutes on the naughty ramp.
Yes, it's lovely to be here. I've been in Lanzarote. I went on holiday to Lanzarote. I know, yes. It's a volcanic island, you see. And I said to my father I'd been to Lanzarote, and he said, oh, it's lovely there. There's some lovely black beaches. And I misheard that. Some marvellous Moroccan whores as well, I imagine. Yeah, I've been on quite a few holidays. I went on a stag do. I know, me on a stag do. Hang on, I've been trying to rehearse this. All right. All right. It's all in the neck, isn't it? All right. All right. That's close, isn't it? Oh. It's amazing how close to vomiting it is, isn't it? This is a front for insecurity. I've got it. I've got it.
So I went to the seaside on my own to cheer myself up. Worst part of going to the seaside on your own, that would be the point where, if you're there with a car full of people driving to the seaside, the best bit is when you see the sea for the first time. And you get to announce it to everyone else in the car. You point at it and you say, I can see the sea. And then they all look and go, confirmed. I love saying I can see the sea. I was gutted I didn't get to say it. Because that's the only time you can say it, you know. When you see it. You can't go around boy cried wolf saying you can see the sea. Only time in your life you can say you can see the sea is when you can see the sea. Oh, that and like during an eye test. Break it out then. Quite nice. I got to the seaside. I was still feeling lonely. I wanted to cheer myself up, so I wanted to have a go on one of those pictures you put your head in, you know? You know pictures you put your head in, right? Yeah, you all know pictures you put your head in, right? Yeah? Yeah? You know pictures you put your head in. You might not. It's very hard to get it across to people what I mean, actually, when I say pictures you put your head in. It's real hard to get it across, because they've been around for a long time. They've been around your entire life. Pictures you put your head in have been around. You've all seen the picture you put your head in, and maybe you've even got a photo of yourself with your head in a picture you put your head in. You might own that photo, but it's hard to get it across what I mean when I say pictures you put your head in, because even though they've been around for ages, no one's got round to giving them a name yet. They haven't got a name. There's no name there's no name. I had to come up with pictures you put your head in myself. I feel like some of you still don't know what I mean. Pictures you put your head in. Pictures you put your head in. You know? They were invented in the olden times by an artist who couldn't do faces. Does that help you? Pictures you put your head in. Know what I'm talking about? They're the opposite of masks. Does that help anyone at all? Pictures you put your head in. Yeah. I knew you'd understand. I knew you'd know it. Same hymn sheet. There's one that was free. It was a kid's one. Little kid's one. Lower down, head hole's still the same size as it is for adults. You make of that what you will. I'm asking for trouble. It's the classic scene. You know the classic. It's a beach scene. A big fat lady with a stripy swimsuit. And a skinny guy with a knotted handkerchief on his head. I put my head in the lady one, because I'm a professional comedian, I know what's funny. I looked at that headless man and it hit me. And then I realised, what I realised was this. If you got your head in a children's picture you put your head in for two, and you're on your own, and you're an adult, and you happen to be crying a little bit, it looks really peculiar if no one's taking your photograph.
But I was really giddy. I told my mum, how sad's that? I was like, I'm doing a gig in Hong Kong. And she was like, ooh, in English? Probably. We've known each other for many years. You would have thought once I would have let slip that I knew rudimentary Cantonese. Brilliant place. I was so lucky. On the flight over there, I had... You know, every so often in life, a magical moment happens. Like, I had one of these moments. I was on this plane, flying to Hong Kong. I was next to a businessman who was asleep, and he was making that silly, whistly noise through his nose. You know that? It sounded like somebody was abusing a Teletubby. And every so often, you thought he would stop, because he was like, So I was already giggling. And then it happened. From nowhere, in the darkness, on the plane, I heard this voice go, "Will you stop touching your willy?" And I honestly thought it was God. For a second, what? That's what I like to do. I looked over, and there was a mum telling her son off. Now, you know, every so often you look at something and think, this is gonna be good. The kid was about 4. This woman looked so tired. She goes, "Will you stop touching your willy?" How about this for an answer? The kid looked back at his mum and went, "Oh, mummy. I love it." It's the most amazing answer. Yeah, you're right. I love it, mummy. If you had one of these, you wouldn't leave the damn thing alone. You'll go blind! Yes, and then I'll have a dog and a willy.
When I was 7 years old, me and my mum and dad went on holiday, right? And something terrible happened. Remember sometimes, right, when you were a kid, your mum and dad would make friends with another mum and dad, meaning you were automatically expected to be best buddies, little bosom chums, with whatever cretinous little wretch of an offspring these random people happen to have with them. So this is, we're friends now, so this is your ready-made best friend. I fucking believe not, mother. Look at the state of this that you've brought before me. My mum and dad that year, right, they went on holiday. They made friends with a lovely couple from Buckinghamshire. And they had a son. And their son was called Lawrence. I knew straight away we were never going to be friends. Lawrence was the rubbish kid. Do you remember Lawrence was a dickhead? The rubbish kid. Lawrence was the kid. When you were younger, you had a Lawrence on the periphery of your friend group. There was a Lawrence knocking around within your friend group, right? Wasn't he a proper friend? But he was there. A whinging, whining, non-stop, wanting his own way, a little nightmare. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not allowed. Oh, I'm allergic. Allergic to his own fucking asthma inhaler. You know the kid I mean. A Lawrence on holiday is the kid around the pool with layers and layers of unrubbed-in sun cream. Just squelching around the pool. A milky little letdown, ruining everyone's holiday. Haunting the poolside like a soggy little ghost. Looks like his mum puts the cream on via baptism, just... His voice was unbelievable. He could make anything sound sad, no matter what he was saying. He would obliterate the happiest sentence in the world. This is the best birthday ever. Tell your voice, mate, you sound like you're being tortured. One day, Lawrence's mum and dad and my mum and dad, they all chipped in and we got in a taxi, a boiling hot, non-air-conditioned, mid-90s leather burning the back of me little speedoed thighs. 20-minute taxi torture ride down to the beach. We left the beach that day after 45 minutes because Lawrence wanted to go back to the hotel, because Lawrence was hysterical, because Lawrence saw a crab. There was no rules. It was fast and loose, whatever he would kick off at. This day it was a crab, he wasn't happy. He was inconsolable. It came straight at me. No, it didn't. It can only move sideways. You're a liar. Final night of the holiday, right? Final night of the holiday. Lawrence's mum and dad and my mum and dad, right? We were in the pool and they came over and they went, boys, because you have been such good boys, we've got a surprise for you. Tonight, it's your final night. We're going to take you down to the pizza restaurant. You watch the men make your pizzas. They put the toppings on. Then we're going to go to the arcade. You can play on the games all night. You can even play the mini-golf. I was so excited, I instantly urinated. I was in the pool as well, so no one knew. Lawrence didn't want to go. Lawrence didn't want to go to the arcade. He didn't want to go and have the pizzas. Lawrence wanted to stay in the hotel on our final night and watch the hotel entertainment. Who wants to watch the hotel entertainment is specifically there for people who've got too pissed during the day and can't physically leave the complex. Just rows of bright pink men on sun loungers going, I've overdone it, Sharon, I've overdone it. Shit, I'm shaking, I'm hurting. Go to the suitcase, Sharon, get me good shirt, just drape it over me nipples, just drape it. I'm sat, all the adults at the bottom, watching the disco, watching these three dickheads singing disco songs. Now, I'm not slagging off all hotel entertainment. I'm slagging off these three twats that we watched that night, right? You know you're in a shit hotel with the three guys singing at the end of the night were the ones taking you for water polo earlier that day, right? I'm sitting right at me and Lawrence sat at the back, sitting in this little balcony, holding onto the railings like I was in prison, watching these three dickheads singing disco songs. And you know when you're having the worst time ever and the person next to you is loving their life so much? I'm fuming and he's just... sat there, white knuckles, furious, right? What I did to Lawrence that night echoed through my childhood. You know when you get a bollocking so severe, it is referred back to by your parents regularly, like, this is nearly as bad as what you did to Lawrence that fateful night. And I don't know where it came from, I don't know how I thought of it, little bit of genius, I don't know. But I sat there, furious, white knuckles, and I said, Lawrence, I bet you can't get your head through these railings. In my defense, I didn't think it would go in. I got an unexpected slam dunk that night, because evidently, enough unrubbed-in cream from the day, not an issue whatsoever. Straight in. Coming back out, not a fucking chance. Go and get my mummy, go and get my mummy. So I quickly ran to the swings for an hour. I got a proper dragged back to the hotel room, mid-90s, you can still hit your kids, but it has to be behind closed doors, bollocking! That night. And I don't even care, I don't regret it. I do not regret it one little bit. Because the scene I was dragged past that night that I had created is still one of the greatest moments as a human being on this planet for me. I was dragged past a posh Buckinghamshire mother buttering her child's massive head with